Alright, so I'm riding Half of McCoy next week, and I wanted to put some fresh clutches in the YXZ. Obviously, these things go through clutches a lot. It's a pain in the butt. You gotta lay on the ground and try to stack the clutches in there. Doesn't sound like fun to me, so I decided to do it the way I usually do things, which involves a tractor. And I got the YXZ at about a 70-degree angle, so you can walk right up underneath here, stand right here, and work on the clutch. Very premium setup. All I did was drop this half the skid plate and this half. This ramp is here for safety, so if a trap breaks, it'll slice through my oil tank and might save me. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get at it. This is a really nice way to work on things in here. I'll probably start doing this more often because there's a lot of stuff. I don't like how that harness is routed. There's a lot of stuff on this YXZ that is a pain in the butt to do, but if you tilt it up like this, you can get to it pretty easy. So yeah, I'm just gonna jam her on up. There's the drive shaft and stuff. And obviously mine's a little more open in here because I have the shields removed because I'm an idiot. But I like to make things easy on myself, so yeah. And of course, before I did any of this, I put the clutches in a bag with half a quart of oil, going over and turning them periodically. Make sure my clutches are good and soaked before installing them. All right, so got the cover off very easily. Just zipped off the 10mm bolts with the 8mm bolts with an impact. And then I took off those 10mm bolts that hold the spring on. So this is the spring for this clutch. We're getting rid of this, we're upgrading it, but that's how the stock pressure is held. Pretty nuts clutch design. You can see the disc right there. So the ones I can see so far don't look that bad. I expect them to be black and blue and totally smoked from the abuse of this thing going through canals on mud tires and stuff, but clutch looks a lot better than I expected. Still want to go through with this, changing the clutches. The main point of this is to upgrade the pressure plate to one that has actual 6 springs on it instead of this one pressure spring thing, and so I can get a better clutch feel. But the clutches don't look as bad as I thought they were going to so far. Found that sitting on my little stool makes this extremely comfortable, and I can do these all day long. This job went from being something I just was dreading doing, something that was very easy and quite enjoyable with the addition of the Kubota. All right, so took off that 30mm nut, pulled out the clutch inner hub assembly, and these clutches look fine. People talk a lot of crap about these clutches. They look pretty good to me. I mean, this thing's seen some serious abuse, and you always see these people online with these clutches that are just totally disintegrated. I'm not seeing that. I mean, these look okay. So the top one is staggered like with a lot of other systems. Let's go through and see if they get bad at some point. That one was a little dry, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, there we go. That one had some heat on it. Okay. Interesting. The top one looked totally normal. Huh. Yeah, that's definitely gotten hot. But they've held up pretty well. But see how dry that is? Ooh. Oiling is an issue with these things, man. Clutches are pretty dry. But I don't think they was anywhere near giving out on me. The pedal feel is so terrible, though, you'd constantly think this clutch is on the verge of going out. So based on how dry these are, I'm going to do the oil mod, which basically you just drill a bunch of holes in your clutch hub down in these grooves to increase oiling, because these suckers are really dry. Surprised they don't look worse given how dry they are. I mean, it's been sitting and everything dripped off it, but I drove it around a little bit before I did this. It's important to know that you should drive your YXZ for a while just to get the clutches lubricated before you start beating on it. Now we're down to this spring clip. So this uses some judder springs, and this spring clip goes in here and kind of holds them in place. Some people leave it out, I think, but I'm definitely going to put it back in. You can see how loose these fit, though. So I wonder if these are going to be real burnt. These are those little half discs, so maybe that's my problem, but looking at them from the side, they still do have clutch material. They're not like metal to metal yet. So I need both hands to do this. I'm going to set the phone down, but I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. So we got that off using these 2 pair of pliers. Didn't damage it. I found it was helpful to take these pliers and actually squeeze on the steel and the hub to compress those judder springs in there, and then it pretty much popped right out. Not too bad. Interesting. Yeah, these don't look that bad either. I wonder, I don't know. I'm really surprised that these clutches don't look worse. All right, so, wow. I mean, especially considering how dry they are. I mean, obviously they've gotten hot, right? See how blue these are? That's not great. But this must be a really tough clutch to not have disintegrated. So, very surprising. So now, if you look at this hub, there's like one hole drilled down here. Everyone says to increase the number of holes, then you get better oiling for your clutches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we started reassembling it. That wire ring is really easy to get on and off. So to put it back on, you just put it in the hole here and start squeezing with pliers as you go around. Get it all the way into the groove, like that. And it's snapped right in there. Once you get the tip of it poked through, grab it with a needle like this, whoop, and it locks in. So that was really easy. Now I just gotta keep stacking. But really easy job so far. People complain about this like it's a real pain in the butt. I don't know, one of the easiest clutches I've ever done. All right, so clutch is installed. That's what the new pressure plate looks like. All the springs are in there, it's all torqued. Now I just gotta put the cover back on. Pretty easy job. If you don't dump oil.